Okay, so we're good now, yeah?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Are we isolated?
No, y'all. He wants to
feel
make
isolated.
he like cares so much about making you guys sound good. Like it's a whole thing.
I'll take it, man. Thank you.
It is a whole thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing.
I gotta
Bless
get my legs
bless his heart. Okay. So we're gonna get started. Yay, I'm excited. I say that every fucking time. But I really am excited because I'm like a groupie and like a fan. So it's cool. Okay, hey people, this is Ashley. Oh my gosh, in Music After Dark HTX. Y'all, I'm so excited, and I say it all the time because I'm a big fan, dude. I just love music, right? I can't play an instrument to save my fucking life, like at all. But I love music, so hopefully these are gonna be my new friends. Apexfallen.
What up?
What up, you guys?
Thanks for having us.
It's funny if you watch the intro of other podcasts. Y'all's posters are everywhere in this building. It's funny.
I know it's funny to walk in and see fellow bands here from Houston and to see all that. It's cool.
Especially since we've never been here before. And
Yeah,
just
I have no idea where
there we are, there we are, there we are, there we are.
Everywhere. I love it. So let's you guys introduce yourself and positions in the band.
My name is Eric. I play bass and I do backing vocals.
My name's Woody, and I'm the drummer. And I was trying to make a joke. I couldn't think of anything funny. I'm the drummer.
You're
That's
the drummer.
Good. That's
an important.
Yeah.
That's an important
I carry
role.
around.
That's a very important
I carry
part.
around all the crap.
Oh, you're like drummer / roadie /
Oh,
He's
and
his own roadie.
merch dude. Yeah, my own roadie. My own groupie.
And we're missing some people, so let's give them some shout outs.
So we have Reis. He is the guitarist. And we have Jeremy. He is the just lead vocalist.
And they don't like me, so they didn't come on. No, I'm joking.
No, it's
totally
crazy
joking.
week, but
Yeah, super crazy. So how long have you guys been together, for people that don't know?
it's a long story. I think we started like right prior to 2019 as like kind of a weird psychedelic like death metal project, which had a crazy amounts of time signature changes and tempo changes and weird stuff in it.
Was that because of COVID? Were you guys just like locked up during COVID? So
this was like the tail end, so it was a little different. But it was with two other guitarists, completely unrelated to the band now. And these guys were amazing, but at the same time, I couldn't get them to cut down a 10-minute song into 3 minutes. And it just couldn't, we just couldn't figure it out.
Okay.
And so we lost them. Then we got two other guitarists, right?
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we started with Neverthelesser, which is our first EP, which was basically, that's probably the album where we ran through 2 to 3 guitarists just to get settled. Yeah. And a bassist. And that was kind of a crazy time because it was the first thing that we ever did together, and to kind of finish that and put it all together and make a strong EP, because our first 2 EPs are part of a concept album. There's a story behind our albums.
look, we got time. You're on a podcast. You can tell those stories.
Yeah,
That's why we're here. Tell them.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, so Neverthelesser is the first of the story. The greater the misery is then when we found Reis, and our notorious joke is that we finally found him on Craigslist, and everyone knows that is a really janky website.
That
We
needs
really
to
like
be on a
telling that
T-shirt.
story.
I love that. Like we found
we
him
should
on
make him a T-shirt that
Craigslist.
says "We found him on Craigslist."
Dude, I
What
love
was even
that.
creepier was because he was like, we're all young 30s and he's 19. I think he was 19 when we met
At the
him.
time.
At the time we met him,
the
he's
time.
19. He comes in with his little guitar and he's just like, he jammed it. He rocks out, but he like never really played metal. He was a blues guitarist. And
With some Van Halen and Metallica.
yeah, he likes
But-
older
Really?
metal.
That's
Like,
kinda cool.
I mean, but like he loves the big name bands, and he was very good at it. But he was very blues oriented, so it was kind of a transition for him going into Greater Than Misery, because that music was already kind of pre-written by me and Jeremy, the singer, and then we started recording, and he just picked up on all the songs after a few months of playing them and made them his own. And then Travis, who was the other guitarist at the time, who's no longer with us, did the solos and stuff.
So the
that's Greater Than Misery.
OG people. It'd be you, and the singer.
Actually, no.
Or no?
Just me and the singer.
Just
Just
him
you.
and the
Okay.
singer.
Y'all are the OG originators.
he and I do go way back.
Yeah, I've known.
So
him
we met in 8th grade, and then when we got into high school, started learning how to play our instruments, and so we just jammed together, and we made our first high school band, and that lasted for 4 years, I think.
Yeah, we
in
used
its
to be in a
entirety.
band called Sepsis.
Yeah.
Which was basically started out as like the whole wearing mask, Slipknot, Mushroom Head.
Very
style.
influenced by the new metal stuff.
We were super into that. We
And
loved it.
It was great. So we had it all together, and an image and stage presence, and so we actually played Scout Bar back then. So Scout Bar opened in 2004, and by 2006 we were on stage at Scout Bar.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's really
And
cool.
then,
That's really cool.
Also, Jeremy is also a lifelong friend of ours because I used to work for his dad as a substitute teacher. From the age of 18 to 20 years old. But Jeremy actually, his dad was a principal, and my cousin was his vice principal. Like that's how close. Like we didn't go to the same school, but we knew everybody.
Dude, that's cool.
Yeah.
There was this venue in Pasadena. It's not there anymore, but it was called the Pit, and that was the place that all the
Car
high school
garage
kids.
with the stage
it
thrown
was
in it.
basically a garage with a stage in it, and that was where all the high school kids would go every weekend, and everybody'd be hanging out.
In Pasadena.
So, yeah, in Pasadena.
In Pasadena,
Down there by
Texas.
Pasadena High School.
By Pasadena High School, in the old
Pasadena.
part off of Spooner Street.
Wow.
And
It
so
was
it
janky.
was janky, but
we
it was
all loved it.
it was a lot of fun. And at the time, so we were playing in our band, and then Jeremy had his own band that he was doing vocals for called The Taste of Vengeance. And so we knew each other through that, and constantly playing on the same bill together. And so after a while, life goes on, things peter out, people grow apart. I left, and then I think it was maybe a year and a half, and then Sepsis was like done.
And now we're apexfallen, so that's way more
Yeah.
important. So let's talk more about that.
He's like, yes. Okay, so let's talk about that.
A little bit of background never helped.
No, that does help because it's cool because you guys all kind of.
And then Reese's, we call him Baby Boy. We miss you, Baby Boy.
He's the
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, we take care of him. He just comes and he's our little guitarist. He's amazing.
But back to Apex Fallen, so Reis is in it. I actually hadn't joined yet. Then there was another single that came out called Battleborn, and then around February of 2023, they had grown tired of their, at the time, current bassist, and I had been in contact with both Woody and Jeremy.
Much
and
love to that guy, but like he didn't like.
Well,
match
it's a
the
vibe, right?
aesthetic.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to. It's a
Well,
vibe.
like we would go to shows. I'm not trying to talk crap, but like we would wear all band uniforms and try to look like a metal band. And he came in with a like polo shirt and looked like he was ready to manage a Mexican restaurant, and he had boots on. And so I was just like, bro,
it was
what
a
are we doing
weird
here?
fit.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
anyway,
So they finally, I finally get a message from him saying, "Hey, do you want to play?" And I'm like, "Is that a formal invitation?" Because I'd been waiting for months, just playing it out, being quiet, waiting to see what happens. And then he's like, "Yeah." So I'm like, "All right." Grabbed all my gear that I still had from way back when, from back in Sepsis. Still
He has
had
a
all my
huge
gear.
setup.
Hadn't changed really my whole rig, and so I brought all that over, and there were some doubts. You'd be like, "Well, you haven't played in like over 15 years, but this one literally hasn't changed the way that he plays drums."
I just beat the crap out of him.
And so as soon as I
Metal.
heard that, I'm like, "Oh, no, we're good." We locked right in, and it was like we never stopped.
That's cool. It's like riding a bicycle. I'm assuming because I don't play an instrument. So
Well, I mean, there's just people that creatively you can easily sit down and write with and pitch ideas back and forth, because like the hardest thing is also checking your ego, making sure that you're not the only one in the room, because we've had ideas where someone's so dead so strong on an idea and they're not letting go of it. I'm like, hey, let me mess with it. I promise you. Let me put my influence on it. And then this is how like this, new album's being just was written, because we kind of all left our ego to the side. Like I said, Jeremy wrote Greater the Misery and some of the other stuff from the past. So for him to take his hands off a guitar and just to let someone else throw in a whole nother idea of how to play guitar, it's a lot to ask of someone when they're so used to the control a little bit,
Well, and that's one of my questions. Like, who, when you have more than, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people involved, who makes decisions for the band? And is that maybe why some bands don't work out? Is it a communication thing?
It can be.
I think open communication is one of the top things, but then also having the agreeability to make something final and good as a whole, working with each other as a team to make everything better.
And having the same aim, you're going in the same direction, so it makes things a lot easier to bounce ideas off of each other if everything is in that same realm in the creative space of if you're going for a particular style, or if you all have very similar influences that drive the new music that is coming out and what you write and everything, and which was kind of the reason why I left Sepsis. It was starting to go a direction that I didn't want to go in at the time, and so there was a big conflict there. But so far with this, it's all been driving towards sort of the same goal, so it makes it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, so those the first 2 EPs and everything, it was kind of like those were mostly just me and Jeremy trying to make this band work until we found all the right good people. And then Erik and Reis stuck, and we did Catastrophic and Kingslayed together, which are 2 singles that came out before this album we're about to release. And they came out great. It was like letting the reins go and seeing kind of what they did. But a lot of times I do a lot more of the recording and whatever. And if you want to say that there's like a manager type, I'm probably the dude doing it. I book shows, I do a lot of that stuff. But ever since I've kind of been more boisterous with these guys, I'm like, hey, I need help too. Like sometimes I can't handle all that. And
so it should be like a team, like a group.
Yeah,
it's a group effort.
Yeah, this is the first time in the apexfallen history that I feel like we're just a bunch of cool dudes working towards the same goal. Yeah. And it feels good because it's like there might be disagreements here and there, but we're not jerks to each other. We get through it.
No, it's very, very common thought, very civil, and it's just like, hey, I have this idea, but what if we do it this way? Yeah, okay, I can compromise with that.
Which is cool because
you can try it, right? It doesn't hurt.
Which is cool because if you adapt to other people, it changes your style, but you can kind of keep your old style. You know what I mean? That's what this new album is going to sound like. Because it sounds like apexfallen, but it definitely doesn't in some of it.
Really?
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of growth.
Yeah,
okay, so let's just all skip some of these questions. Let's talk about that for a while. So when is that going to come out?
Well, today is
it's first single 14th. Tomorrow.
14th.
Well, so it's August 14th right now. So I guess by the time this goes out, it'll already be out, but it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
On August 15th.
So we're going to take a second and do a whole plug for it because I can snippet this out and do a whole plug for you guys tomorrow.
Ooh, nice.
So you're welcome.
The Sum of It All, title track, first single of the album, comes out August 15th. It will be on Spotify and Apple. Second single will be September 15th, and that will be Hollow.
Hollow, yeah.
And then on October 15th, the entire album, all 8 songs, the Sum of It All, will be on all platforms. Think of a streaming platform, it'll be there.
That's so exciting. So that's so exciting.
First full-length album, not an EP, not a single. First full-length album.
And the closing of our trilogy EP thing.
Also, yes.
Going on.
Y'all, that's so exciting.
So you had Nevertheless or Greater the Misery, and then now Sum of It All, this final album, is the closure of that. And so everything after this will be as a different art for ourselves as well.
New
Dude,
inspirations.
Yeah.
I love it. You guys are growing and changing.
Yep.
That's
Exactly.
cool.
It's cool to think outside the box. That you
It's
normally
okay
put
for
yourself
artists to
in.
do that, right?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And on top of that, it's the music has gotten heavier and heavier.
Yeah.
First EP, we're in drop C. Second EP was in drop A, and now we've been in drop G.
Yeah.
this whole time. So it's
Slap
just,
at the bass.
It's just getting heavier and heavier and lower tunings.
I love it. That should be a sound clip. I love it. Slapping the bass. Because
make
you
her
guys do travel. You do get out of Houston to play at venues. Let's talk about that. Have you guys gotten out of the state?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, we got out of the state last year. We played Lake Charles.
Hey.
That was our first little outside of Texas
That's
show.
cool. That's a cool
And
place.
it was
warm,
really cool.
welcoming.
It was very much so. It was a small little pub. It's called My American Pub, just right up the road from the casinos.
Dude, I love that.
And small place, so it didn't take a lot of people to pack it, and it was like front to back, side to side. Like it kind of
Dude,
blew
that's
us
so
away.
cool.
That it got that crowded in there, and it was awesome for our first reception in Louisiana. Gone back there since. We've stretched it out further and played in Lafayette, which we're going back to Lafayette in September
For
20
Radfest.
for Radfest on the
21st.
21st.
Right, yeah.
So it's a 2-day festival. The 20th and the 21st, we're playing on the second day.
Bro,
A
road
bunch
trip.
of amazing bands are going to be there.
Road trip.
It's gonna be fun.
So down. Very cool.
But we've been trying to focus on more out of Houston shows. Recently, we've basically played almost everywhere we can play in Houston. So we're to the point where we're trying to focus more on the out of town than Houston shows. I mean, if it's something special and somebody that we really enjoy or something like that comes up, sure, we'll
Yeah,
say
we'll
yes. We'll play.
Yeah.
Because
But
y'all have
just
some
trying to
local
push it.
shows coming up, though, right?
Yes.
Here soon.
We have 2 shows this week, August 17th and 18th. The 17th is going to be with Dead Reckoning at Black Magic Social Club. And the 18th, we will be at BFE.
With Yosemite and Black from Atlanta,
Yes.
Georgia.
Yes, in September. No. What
No,
are y'all-
no.
This
This
weekend.
This is
weekend.
this weekend?
Yeah, this weekend.
August 18th. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're going to be busy this weekend.
Y'all are going to be busy this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, so we've been busy. We focused on Dallas and Austin. We just booked one for Voodoo Donut in Austin. I'm excited about
Yeah.
just to go play in a donut
Really? You
shop.
get to play at Voodoo Donut
Yeah.
in Austin?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is really dope.
It is dope.
And so that's
Oh, tell her the under the bridge story.
oh my god.
So
This
the
is
first time
so
Please.
dumb, but
Wait,
it's so
'cause
cool.
Y'all haven't played in Austin before. Have y'all played in Austin before?
We have several times and like
Because it's
come and
weird, right?
take it and
Austin's a
stuff.
whole vibe,
But we have to
too.
tell you this one because it's insane.
It's a whole vibe.
So okay, so what was it at? It was it was with this
it
band
was-
called Needle Freak. It was this was several months back, and it was
Yeah.
with this young band named Needle Freak. And I'm texting them, and they had this producer guy that set up the show. What was that?
And-
Lucky Rabbit or something?
Yeah,
was
yeah,
the-
yeah,
he
yeah.
was the one setting it up.
So this guy that runs Lucky Rabbit or whatever as a production
Yeah.
promoter, he set up this show with us, Needle Freak, and another Austin band, Shysters.
Shysters.
And so he booked this event center. Like,
like where you'd have a
where you go
quinceañera.
to have a quinceanera or like a wedding reception. It's just an event center. It's just wide
Okay.
open, has a stage. Cool. You got a PA. We're good to go. All right. And we've stayed in contact with them. And the day of,
It's an open floor concept.
yeah, it's an open floor concept. That's right. And so we were heading out there the day of. We were driving separately because we were with our significant others and everything. So we had our own ways to get there, but we were all going to meet up in Austin and do the show, and it was going to be fine. We didn't even make it out of Houston all the way.
I was halfway to Austin, though.
He was
And then
halfway.
I get a phone call from the guy putting it all
I'm trying to
together.
fix my face because that
Yeah,
sucks. I
and-
think I
and
know
he
where this
goes
is
like,
about
"Bro,
to go, and this sucks.
I'm in
so bad.
Katy. I'm in I'm in
God.
Katy. He's halfway to
He
Austin.
goes, bro, I'm going to tell you right now, the venue just told me that they're not having our shows tonight because they painted their walls and they don't want us to touch them.
They currently had a painting crew in there to repaint the walls, and they didn't want anybody else in there for that night. And everybody's like, "What the fuck?" Like we booked this months in advance.
So the bands start getting all into it on Instagram. We had a group
This-
thing. We're all texting.
So thank God for the youngins being on TikTok, because both Needle Freak and Shysters got on TikTok and Instagram, and they spam posted the hell out of it
God.
and said, "Hey, come out tonight we're playing
You skipped
the
it, though,
tunnels.
because that was part of the conversation in the Instagram. It
Oh.
was a giant thing on Instagram. I'm the only one that had access to it, so I was constantly telling which
Oh,
one of
that's
y'all
right.
what the progress of the show was. And so Needle Freak sent me a text and they said, "Hey, Woody, don't just bring your band. We're gonna figure this out."
Yeah.
And so then they like tried to find these two little spots that they constantly play shows at, and the one that came up that we ended up going to was called the Tunnels, which is under an overpass bridge.
It's not an actual place. It's just under the freeway.
Yeah, it's under a loud
Yeah.
freeway, and they don't get caught there because it's so dang loud.
And it's actually a very popular
Really?
place for kids to set up their own DIY shows.
Yeah.
And we didn't even
I'm not
have
gonna
that
lie,
plan.
that actually sounds kind of cool though.
It-
but,
it
I
was.
wanna
Like a
show you
whole
the video.
thing.
It was dope. A kid broke his hand there and tagged us. It was amazing.
I kind of want to go, and is this like still a thing? I kind of want to go
dude, all the
and
time.
like,
So-
It's a known
dude,
thing.
road trip.
So we didn't, and at the time it was still early in the day, and we were still going through that phone call when he initially found out that we weren't going to be at the original venue. And I'm trying to tell him, he's like, dude, we already made plans, we're already booked. Let's just get the hell out of Houston. Let's just, if nothing else, we'll all meet up in Austin and just make a weekend out of it.
Yeah, because there's
Screw
a
it.
lot of other cool shit too. in
Yeah.
Austin.
So, yeah, there it is. It's under the
Whole
freeway.
thing.
Yeah, there's cars driving on the freeway right above us while we're doing that with two little generators
Dude,
and some lights.
And there is a sign, Apexfallen is
And
like.
what's amazing is
right
Needle
in the
Freak
back.
came through and like
They-
100 kids showed up.
Yeah, out of nowhere. And so we started setting up, and from both all directions, they just started piling
is-
in.
So you're gonna need to
And
send me
that's-
that so everyone can see what I just saw, because that's actually very, very dope. That's
Exactly.
That's really
and
dope.
so, like I said, during the mosh pit, these kids were getting down. And the next day, I woke up. We just had a good night, whatever. I wake up, and I'm like, oh, we got tagged in a story. And this kid posted how he was in the mosh pit. And I think I saw him fall. And he had cracked his two metacarpals in his hand. And he actually broke them.
I
And he
did
tagged
see
us in it. And he goes, worth it.
I did
I was
see
like,
him
this
fall.
kid is amazing.
He tagged us with the X-ray scan of his broken hand.
Yeah, and he said worth it. And I said, man, this kid is a hero.
Oh my god!
cool.
Please send this stuff to me so we
So
can.
cool.
So
You guys do
that
have
was
a pretty
awesome.
big following. You guys, do you
We're
know?
doing better,
Do
and
you
we're
realize
trying to work
that?
on
If
ourselves.
you,
I mean, we know that there's always room to grow, but like we are pushing ourselves every day. One of the things, like also playing only out of town shows mostly for now on, is trying to build ourselves, and then also focusing on our online promotion. We have music videos that are going to come out with this album as well. So we are going to push ourselves in a way that it's pretty funny because when I think back to Eternal Fire and we did a music video in my bedroom. And we sent it off to a guy on Fiverr to edit, and it didn't come out too bad. It was okay for something I did in my bedroom that cost me $70.
It's pretty good on the budget.
But we're taking it a step above that easily now, and trying to really push ourselves and fund this band to become something that's actually,
And in the last year, or from a year ago to now, has grown at a more exponential rate than the first 2 or 3 years.
that's what's up.
So it's really actually starting to pick up speed, and we're focusing more on Spotify, pushing more Spotify campaigns, and actually branching out outside of the U.S. for listeners and people to just enjoy our music.
Because how do you guys make money, right? Because if I went to y'all's website and got to listen to a bunch of music for
most
free,
of our shows now,
so,
yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean?
I think we all kind of know now, like streams are not really a thing anymore, or at least downloads. I mean, it's hard to make music. One day I hope all that gets figured out and we can actually, if you download, like for instance, if you download from Apple, you get 55 cents of that dollar they make, which is pretty cool. Because if you think of we have a crap ton downloaded. You would think that with all the downloads, we'd have some money,
But
we're living that life just like everyone else is. And can't complain
we're getting there, but we're not at like Taylor Swift numbers yet. So we're not getting paid for
I
the
think we're there,
streams.
though. I think we'll be there soon.
We'll be there. It's doing well. It's doing a lot better than it did. We focused more on Instagram and Facebook at first, but now we're trying to focus more on the streaming platforms and to do it that way. But
what about TikTok?
we need to focus more on that.
And I'm just
And
asking. It's a
we
mix.
have
I
one.
ask everyone this.
Yes.
Some
We also have
people
an
are like,
OnlyFans.
you you should focus
It's literally
on.
me letting Eric drum on my butt.
Do you really?
Yeah. That's how we fund the band.
Oh, do you want me to tag that on the
Why not?
YouTube bio? Okay, I'll get that info. I love that. Oh my god.
I hate you so much.
You know what? Tell the people what they want to hear.
Dude, I love
We're here for the
it.
good stuff. They're all like, okay, album release, OnlyFans. Now I'm in.
Dude, I love that. I love it. That could be like a whole new thing for bands. Watch
Yeah.
that blow up. Like,
Yeah.
watch that blow
but
up.
the singer from Attila does it.
And it's like
The singer Attila
He does.
it does porno.
people on their drum set are like holding
Yeah.
their bass and
I think.
stuff. Like
People gotta
it could
make
be a
money.
thing. Oh my
Yeah.
god. I love
But to answer your question, to actually answer your question, is no, the way we get paid is some shows pay out, some shows are just like, hey, thanks for coming. But at the same time, on every one, we're pretty good at selling a good bit of our merch. And so even if we don't get a payout, we could still come away with several $100s just right in our pocket. And then
Merch
if
is
we
a big
do get a
deal.
payout
That's
at the
some of my
door,
questions
that's a
on that.
bonus.
So, that was it's on my list. Merch tables. Should you have them or not? And I'm only saying this. I have another business, my candle business. So I vend at a lot of shows. Like I've seen you guys because I'm slinging candles in the corner or whatever. I have seen bands show up and not have merch tables. Is it a
So I'm a
Should
personal
you or
trainer
not?
for a living. That's what I've done for the past 17 years of my life. And so just to go into why I'm like big on it is Karina is actually here in the room with us.
We'll get her on camera eventually. Yes.
She's our merch girl and she really helps. But that's another thing is I believe that, one of my jobs that I do for my gym is I have to go to events, set up my big thing, get my banners out, give out shirts. I do that.
Oh, it's a whole thing, too.
Yeah,
It's a whole thing.
It is a whole thing, and it's big for us too because I think like good-looking merch too. Like trying to buy better products. We have hats, we have shirts, we have koozies, we have whatever. And
Score. I got
and
two
it help-
koozies today. Love you guys for that.
Yeah,
That was
it helps to have
very cool.
Karina because Karina will literally like run up to a dude and you're like, "You want a shirt?"
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
like that.
Just
But-
saying, women can sell things.
But you
Just
just
saying, women
and,
can sell
and even
things.
if
Especially when they're
it's
cute.
even if
And
it's
she is cute. She's adorable.
even if it's just coming from us, it's you just got to push it and be like, hey, did you enjoy the show? And talking to a dude and his girlfriend that came out to the show and was like, hey, you know what would look really good? This apexfallen shirt on you or whatever, and try to get her to coerce the boyfriend to buy it. That kind of
I think
attitude.
we've
You just
made
have to hustle.
We've made a lot of connections with people too, just because we stick around a lot during shows, and we randomly talk to random people that like I think they want to talk to you, and then they finally talk to you, and you're like, hey, we're all cool, and then like I'll get them to go buy something because they just were like weird about it for some reason. I'm like, dude, seriously, I'm in a metal band. Like,
Okay, so no, that's a
we're
question.
accepting everything.
But I think having merch is good. If you can handle it with all the other stuff that you got going on for your show that night, then yeah,
Good thing to
absolutely.
do.
Because that's all your money.
So if it's a new group just starting, right? Money's tight. We're always looking for ways to. Should they just go ahead and maybe get 10 shirts, 15 shirts, and just? Is it good to start small? Just
That's
with a
actually
couple?
how we started. We
Yep.
did buy some really nice shirts.
And like
on our
it's
first
okay
set.
to just have a couple things at your table and like, dude, it's okay, right?
Yeah, we started out with only one shirt that literally said our name on it.
Yeah.
And then I bought about 30 of them. I think I spent about slightly under 300 on them, and I made double of that back because I actually sold
So
them
see,
all.
don't be intimidated.
So-
You can
And
show
also,
up with just a
band
couple
guys,
shirts.
do not be afraid to double that crap, triple that price. Like if you paid $8, charge that $20, bro. You deserve it. You do this for a living. You're trying to support your craft. I mean, if someone is trying to argue about how to pay for your shirt, they don't really truly support your music.
And if you go to a show at like House of Blues or something like that for a major act that you've been listening to
70
for
easy.
years, you're 45 and up without batting an eye.
We
so
brought up Taylor Swift, and I am not a hater of Swifties, but
I'd wear a shirt by her.
like, let's think about how much people spend on just tickets to see her before
Yes.
merch. So Dude, support local. Fucking spend the $20 on the fucking show.
Yeah.
You know,
dude.
that's what. If it wasn't for the local scene, if it wasn't for local bands,
Especially at a free show. Holy
would-
shit,
you
let me throw
wouldn't have
that
the
out.
future,
God, let me throw that out. If the
Right?
show's free,
Yeah.
shit, please buy some merch.
yeah, like if it's a local show, I mean, you got to remember, like one day, one of these bands is gonna be on that next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, what was it we were talking about the other day? Meshuggah started like in the '80s or something,
Yeah, like 86.
and they didn't like really hit off until like when?
They really blew up around Chaos Sphere, but it was Obzen in 2008 with Bleed
And then
that they just
took them.
So you like
Just
you really
blew
don't
up.
ever know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And some of you local people get on the radio.
Yeah.
The Buzz
Yes.
does the hometown holiday. They do it at like holiday time.
or the
and-
Texas Buzz.
Yeah,
and
something
they do
else
that
where
stuff.
local bands can, get on
Yeah.
the radio.
Uh,
Does that help you guys? Have you guys been on the radio on the Buzz?
We've been on the radio in Louisiana.
Are you fucking kidding
Yeah.
me?
So one of the
We need to get on the Buzz though. I don't know why.
Are
It's our
you?
hometown.
so
Okay, wait, because this all might have to get edited out. I'm about to like go on. Are you fucking kidding me?
no, we are not kidding you.
Louisiana
You guys
loves
have
metal.
never been-
No, we never been on the Buzz.
Not in Texas. We haven't been on the radio. Actually, I've been working towards that. I've been trying to hit up the college radio circuit because it's
There's like bands that aren't
what's
even
up, bro?
together. They've been on the Buzz. There's literally bands
Yeah.
that aren't even together currently.
We got Sweet Nightmare Radio, like 90.1.
That
That's the metal station at fucking like 11 o'clock at night to 5 in the morning. They play all the local metal.
Really? That's cool.
and but that also uses isn't it the Rice
Wow.
radio, or is that something in or it used something like that? But either way,
Wow,
I've been
I'm
trying to hit up the
literally
college
blown away.
radio
Okay,
stations
wow.
because they're more open to be like, hey, I'll check out your stuff.
Running out of space on you.
am I?
Uh-oh.
Actually, like, clipped out on the headrest.
Oh, okay. Here, give me my
We're gonna
phone.
need, actually, I'm gonna need some of that footage though. The footage that you were playing, like in the street.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
That in, just to pepper
Would
that
this
in.
be a good time to take a break so I
Yeah,
can get
take a
some
break.
shit off my phone? Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Actually, probably for a while. You guys, yeah, this is about to be a whole thing.
It's about to get weird.
No, it's not gonna get weird.
It can get weird. I like weird stuff. So
Well, I mean, look at you.
Well,
That's
no,
true.
because we were just sitting here having a whole talk, and it's like support your local music scene, right? So that's the entire reason that this podcast got started.
that's awesome.
Is just to help you guys, not me. I don't even like being on camera, and I have a podcast, right? Like,
You're in the most uncomfortable position in all of
you
this.
have no idea. You have no idea. Like, y'all
A
really.
lot of deep breath breathing.
We're attention whores. We love being on stage and in front of
guys
people.
have no idea. Like, I would be happy as a little lark in a chair over there somewhere talking to you guys. Just
Off camera.
Dude, just off.
Yeah.
But how do people maybe get out of the local music scene? And B, how can the local music scene become more united?
Well, first off, what I would say is, first off, just get started somewhere and start playing shows. It sucks, but there is a little bit of a grind. We quickly grew as a band. It used to be we were playing like these little hole-in-the-wall places with mix acts. I couldn't even get with another metal band. And then all of a sudden we were playing with other metal bands. Like, it's same venues maybe, but like, hey, it's all metal bands, so you know what you're coming for. You
And-
know? There's not a country singer, a pop star, and then a metal band.
Yeah, those shows are probably the most frustrating. But I would say start somewhere and then locally, at least at first, get buddy with whatever promoters that you can, because it's not like back in the day.
Is that a whole thing? Is it like a real job that people have?
It really
promoting?
is. It really is.
Is it
and
really?
Yeah, and so there's been a
Bitch, I
big
need that
change
job.
in the last 20 years.
You'd probably be good at it.
Is that really a real job?
Yes, that is a real job.
Like still today,
Yes.
that is still like
So
with social
here's-
media and everything today.
Here's-
That is actually a job that still exists.
Yeah.
Here's how the change happened. About 20 years ago, when we were in Sepsis, he and I were able to call just individually to venues
Right.
and book ourselves. That was fine. And then at some point
Like
in
cold
time,
calling, which sucks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And
but
it-
you get someone
but
sooner
that's
or
the
later.
grind. That's
Right.
the
It
hustle.
sucks.
That's the hustle. And at some point in time between then and now, there was an uptick in using promoters to put shows together. And now, if we were to call a venue ourselves, like we did back when we were teenagers, they won't even talk to us
Find my
unless we
promoter.
have a promoter behind us.
Are y'all serious right
I
now?
shit you not.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We've experienced it.
So you can't just call 19th hole.
Well, technically,
Well-
yeah, no,
Okay.
well, because we know
If you're new,
if you're new,
and
no.
maybe you've
We know-
been to
but we
like
know the
open
promoter
mics
there.
or something.
we know the promoter there.
No, but like a brand new band can't just call up BFE.
Christy, yeah,
And
Christy.
well, yeah, that's her
Yeah.
name. But a brand new band can't just call up BFE and book themselves on a show. That's just not the
Really?
way it works.
yeah, well, that's
And
what we deal with
places
the
like
most,
that,
so.
Scout Bar, forget it.
Really?
Yeah.
I think a big deal
Forget
that
it.
I think is mostly like come
No shit.
book a show, do your best to get as many people as you can, and then when you're there, make yourself, be professional. Don't go there sloppy drunk. Don't get there super high. I mean, maybe if you're functional, do it. I mean, I'm pretty functional sometimes, but I try to shake hands. I think the sound guys have a thankless job.
They really do.
They really do. They just have to get at it.
But talk to as many people as you
Yeah,
can.
Because they
And-
make
and-
you
and-
guys sound good,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
And you know what? Because
like if there
every
was no
time-
sound guy, I mean, you guys would be like running back and forth, right? Like all
We'd
over the
have
place,
to
trying
make sure that
Every time
we
we went
sound
to
good.
Acadia, we were so cool with the sound guys there that we were always giving. I'm always like, man, I just feel like they always try.
No,
and it's
that-
because we're cool with them.
His name
Buy
is
them a shot. Be nice to them.
his name is Tommy, and he's been running sound for so
Dude, I
fucking
love that
long.
Spencer's on this big campaign right now about tip
We
your,
love Spencer
tip your,
too. Spencer's
tip your
amazing.
sound guy.
Tip
He
your
is on
sound
this
guy. No,
whole-
Spencer's such a
He's
good
on
guy.
a big tip your sound
I-
people. See, tip your sound people.
I like Spencer. He's never done us wrong with the way that we've
Dude, I love
sounded.
that.
He definitely knows what he's doing. And at Acadia, Tommy was the same way. But talk to everybody that you possibly can. Get in good with the promoters to where they invite you back and you have more opportunities.
I did not
And
know that was a
Getting
whole
good
thing.
with
Yeah.
people. We're getting good
Well,
with people. We
we-
have a few people that like we constantly talk to every day on like a friendly basis on Instagram. We post things, they like it, they love it. I send them a message. I say, hey, thank you for checking us out. And then those certain people have 3 of our shirts now because they go to all of our shows. And we have certain people that we call up that we didn't know before, and we'll be like, hey man, I need you at the show, and they show up.
Yep. And we even experienced the whole promoter thing several months ago. You think you called somewhere up in Dallas, and they legit told him over the phone, sorry, just call back when you got yourself a promoter and got the show put together. And that was the end of the conversation.
Then I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I made it happen, and I figured
Dude,
it out.
I will lie and say
So
that
it's not
I
just
now
here.
own a promotion company. So Music After Dark LLC, what the fuck ever I'll call for y'all. Oh my god, I did not know it was like that.
Yep.
It's a little crazy, but at the same
Wow.
time, it's it's part of the game, and you have to do it if you want to be in it.
Wow.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
And keep grinding. I think also a big part that is different this year that, like he said, we've grown a lot this past year is we took ourselves a lot more serious, especially with our art. I don't think we were never not serious, but educate yourself. Understand how Spotify works. Understand Instagram. Understand. It's not the same back in the day when everyone was on MySpace and it was a one thing. Everyone just hit one thing.
You
and
just
could find
aged yourself.
everything.
So see now I don't feel I'm not.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think I'm the oldest person in the
No,
room.
no,
anymore.
I'm
No,
old.
no,
I'm
you're
old.
not.
My bones make
No.
noises.
That is a
You're
win.
not.
for
No,
me.
if we didn't have to do
Different world,
that.
and you need to adapt. And if you want to adapt,
Yeah.
one of the biggest things is like people talk about TikTok. I'm like, man, I probably need to get on this.
We-
I find it weird that I have to do that.
and it's,
but
it's
I'll
a mix
do it.
right now. Everybody that's been on the pod, it's been a mix. Some people think it's the way to go, and some people are like, meh, you don't need to do it.
You can stand by your principles on that all day long. Hats off to you, but everything is changing. Everything's going online. Everything's getting shared over social media. So if you want to grow faster, you're gonna have to play ball with it. That's just the game now. Yeah, so it's not just I'll just play the shows and then play it and they will come.
I know
No,
this always sounds silly too, but like I've had promoters literally reach out to us just because of our numbers, and it sounds silly, but like there's a difference between a band with an Instagram that has 200 and a band that would have 2,000. Who do they take more serious? It's not that I'm not saying it is right, because the one with 200 might be the way better band. But just because they show promotion and that they're working to push themselves, that one with 2,000 is probably the one that's going to get the show.
So I have so many questions based on so many things right now. I was a guest on another podcast. Shout out to Malcolm at Real Talk 100 Radio. Love him. And I asked him, like, I was part of a podcast because I was a vendor, but I was with artists. And I got to meet a lot of really cool people that were really good. And I was like, dude, how do these, why are they not? I had no idea who these people were, right, before this podcast. And that's what he said. He was like, Ashley, there's people in the cloud, in the sky somewhere, that are literally just paying attention to the numbers on social media accounts. And once they hit a certain number, then that's when the people in the cloud will send someone to pay attention to bands.
Things start
and I
coming
was
together.
like, okay, so we just need to give them a platform to. That is literally how this fucking podcast got started. Because I was like, wait, they just needs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just give them something to put to their resume, right? And hopefully bump their numbers. So
Exactly.
I guess these people in the clouds pay attention to them. So that really is how it is.
And it is important. Stop just asking people. I've noticed the biggest thing, bands, build an EPK, build a resume. Put every band that you think is worth a crap in that resume and show who you played with. If you've done 3-day weekend tours, put that in the EPK. Put your whole discography on there. Show what you've written. A lot of times, bands will have I have 5 songs out, and I'm all like, are you promoting them? What are you doing? And oh, well, I just dropped them.
Yeah,
well,
I've
that's
been
not
to
how it
shows
works,
as a
really,
vendor, and there's been 3 or 4 people, and this is on a Saturday.
That's hard. Yeah.
So
those will happen.
Is it the promoter's job to promote you all?
We
in
would
the
say
bar,
so because it's
and
part of the
not
name,
you
but
guys?
It's in their
Or
name.
is it
It's both.
everybody?
I think it's equivalent.
It
I think
is-
it's
And
equivalent.
I ask everyone this question.
It is
To me,
both.
it's everybody, because everyone would make more money if everyone
Who's
worked on
promoting?
it.
It is both. So you have to sell yourself. You have basically sell yourself door to door or click to click, because it's all online. But in at least our minds, yes, if you're going to show yourself as a promoter, then promote the show. Don't just post the show poster one time on your Facebook or Instagram and think that it's all going to come together, and then when nobody shows up, you blame the bands for not bringing the people.
But I will also say at the same time, bands, stop being lazy and just thinking the promoter's going to do it too. It is your job.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to,
It's a
bands
double-edged
got famous
sword.
and bigger. Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. So push yourself too. One of the biggest things that we've been doing is we do those paid promotions to push our new music, to push this new album, to push the post, to push the music video. I'm sorry, but there is a marketing component to the music industry, and if you think you're just going to throw it on, just throw it on iTunes and it's going to do something, unless
No.
it's freaking amazing and the right person hears it, it's probably not going to.
Is it that easy though to even get on iTunes?
It's
there
very
a whole?
easy.
Is
It's
it
very
that easy?
It's easier than you think.
Crazy statistic.
So really
How many-
anybody? So
how
I
many
could make an
songs-
AI song and maybe put it
Yes,
on
you
my-
can.
Yeah,
Oh,
yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
I got so angry at a friend the other day. I had to tell you something. But real quick, let me ask you this: how many thongs? How many
Thongs.
Thongs.
This just went to music after dark really
sorry.
quick.
I just
There's
drank
the dark
some, I
part.
just drank some of the champagne, so I'm feeling myself. So, how many songs a day do you think get uploaded to Spotify? A day.
A day?
A day. On a daily basis, how many songs
Yeah.
get uploaded to Spotify?
Like in the United States? 'Cause
Just-
I
all of
just-
them. Just in general.
In
It's
general,
the
on Spotify.
Totality. What is
A
wrong with
million.
me today? Huh?
a million?
No, that's too high. But
Is that too high?
That is too high.
10,000. Is that too
Higher. One more guess.
low? 50,000.
100,000.
Oh.
100,000. Get at
average
it.
day.
Every
that is across
day.
Every
Spotify.
day.
Every day.
100,000 songs. That's R&B, country, rock, metal, whatever
All
it is.
genres,
You
whatever.
can just post. You can just.
Now let's think about that. We just spent a whole year writing 8 songs, and so that means that's 1 billion songs. I'm sorry, that's like a whole year and 100,000 songs. That's a lot of songs. I'm not good at math, so I can't do that number right away.
The math.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah,
It sounds.
do 365 does
I don't know.
100,000.
I
We'll
just
figure
thought
it
it
out.
was hard. I've never, I guess, researched this. I just thought.
Yeah, but
there
that's what I'm
was-
saying. That's what competition is. You are not. It's a flood. It's a
So, do you think
tsunami.
social media has helped or hurt?
Both.
Both. It's a double-edged sword.
It's a
too.
double.
It's hurt because it's just adding extra unnecessary steps, it seems. At least that's the way you'd feel looking at it, seeing all the stuff that you have to do just to maintain a presence. But if it's done right, then yes, it helps immensely.
Yeah.
Because it's far easier to have yourself outreach to people outside of your hometown than it is your hometown. So if you want to gain numbers quickly, then put it out there and try to get fans outside before you really get a massive following at home. That's just how it works. It's the nature of the beast.
Isn't that
with
interesting?
Social media. It's weird, but yeah, it's very
Isn't
interesting.
that interesting?
Sorry, I spilled the champagne on myself again.
So, if there was anything you would change about the local music scene, what would it be?
I mean,
Y'all, because let's be honest, this is just my opinion. I'm going to give my opinion. We might edit
Let's
it
hear
out
it.
later. Let's
Give
hear
me
it.
your opinion.
So I feel like there's this great divide for some reason. There's like the north side, like BFE, what was Acadia, 19th hole.
everything
and
off 1960.
There's
and everything.
venues all down in like Webster, like Scout, Winters in Pasadena.
Yep.
Iron Horse is this new place that just opened right next door to Scout.
Ooh, I gotta check that out.
It's right next door to Scout. But it just seems like sometimes I see people at Scout that I don't see other places.
So-
and then there's people that I see at BFE that I don't see other places.
Yep. So people have their place that they go to, and that's just where
That's
they go.
just
They
it.
stay on their side. So you might have a great crowd down south, but up north a totally different crowd because that's just where they go. They don't migrate elsewhere. But the way I see it is, I have found a lot of great music just randomly play over Spotify, and it's on shuffle, or Apple Music or whatever, just recommendations down at the bottom. Well, if you like this, you might like this, and
Those are pretty
I
good
think
sometimes.
that keeping that mentality on, well, I've found these bands just randomly, and I really latched onto it. That could also happen in a local sense where you really don't know what you're missing out on because you're not going out there and just enjoying live music. Yeah, it's not always going to be a winner, but
Especially
it might
when
be
we were
something
young.
that
And it
is
is a
really a
drive,
niche
right?
that
But-
you're into.
We still go to a lot of shows.
Do you guys, like, individually
a
go
lot
to
of
shows?
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
going to shows.
Not just when you're
All
like on the
levels.
bill with
All
you
levels
guys.
in all genres too. Like
hang out and go to shows.
Me and Karina, we have gone and seen like random, like this one band, The Main, which is a huge like pop punk band from the day. You know what I mean? Emo as heck, but I love it. And then I went and I saw this other band called Floor. Holy crap! I was floored. Sorry, sorry. Oh my god, he's like, good one, bro.
like-
But no, seriously, amazing musicians, and I can't stop listening to them. And that's why I also really feel strongly about the metal scene. Every time, we were talking about this the other day. We went and saw Lamb of God together when we were like 18, and I found this, and a band was on stage called Soilwork. They were the opening band. Now, back then, like, okay, think about this. They had the curtains closed. We didn't even see the whole stage. It was literally their crap thrown onto a stage. They kind of mic'd it, and they probably got about 50% of the production that Lamb of God got. And then they played for 30 minutes, threw them off the stage, and
Kill Switch
and then
Engage
Kill
came
Switch
on.
Engage came on.
Yeah.
And so all I could think about was that first band.
Yeah.
Soilwork was so amazing, and now they're humongous, and they just do everything. They're the headliners. They do their own shows, and they're amazing.
So it really could happen at any time. Like
It really can.
But you got to put the work in. You have to be uncomfortable to get there.
You have to push yourself, and it is going to be a lot of hard work. But at some point in time, if you keep pushing, it will pay off in one way or another. And
We need to push ourselves even more.
Yeah.
We always tell ourselves that, but every time we do, we have so much fun. Like at the beginning of next month, we're going out to Austin, Dallas, and possibly Bryan 3 days in a row, and we're trying to make this a norm. I mean, yes, people are uncomfortable. Girlfriends accept us for what we love, but we do this with love of music and to push ourselves.
and everybody's got daily lives. We all have jobs. We've got day jobs, and
because I was going to
obviously
ask that. So how does that work? Because you're having to
You-
balance
you
relationships,
find-
kids.
you find
anybody
the
have
time.
Kids? Anyone
So,
have kids? Do you have kids?
I am married, and she has a child, but still raise her
So
as
that's
mine.
like,
We claim her
But you
too.
make
She's
it work.
cute.
yeah,
We steal her all the
the
time.
band has a kid.
They're always playing Rocket League together. And
Yeah, I play Rocket League with his daughter, just so you know. It's
And she's
I'm
really
a
good.
35-year-old man. But you know what's funny is I'll be playing her and Karina, and they'll score me, and they'll be like, "How's it feel to suck, Woody?" And I'm just like, "A 12-year-old just told me I sucked."
Oh, she's got an attitude when it comes to video games.
But it's fun.
You
It's
make
fun.
it work.
make it
And
work.
so it's you got to find the time somewhere. And even if it's only 2 days a week that you can meet up and work on your stuff, practice, or do whatever you got to do. And then the time away, you may not be able to meet that night, but that's time you could spend online making your website or promoting your Instagram and TikTok and all your social media stuff.
Get a website.
So
It looks so good.
you
to
have
people.
to, yes. Also,
Websites look
yes.
great to people.
You have to find the time to do it. It's if you have the drive, it may take a while. Some, if you've really got something that, with Mushroom Head and Slipknot with the masks, and you got a theme and it works, it might take off sooner, or it might take twice as long. But if you keep pushing, it will work.
You go, then I'll go, because I have a question. based
Last
on
thing,
that.
but the only reason I want to say another thing for bands, build a website too, because also get used to looking at your analytics on Instagram. Go get your Spotify account, claim it, because a lot of people don't understand that you have to go claim your own artist account after you do distribution and
Apple
stuff.
Music as well.
And Apple Music, go in there, start staring at your analytics and look at it and wonder why. Hey, why do I suck? Okay, well, this is why. Because I'm not targeting certain areas that I know can push this, the certain age groups, the certain what demographic wants to hear this. And ever since we've done that, our website used to get 2 visits a day. Now it's almost at 100, and it's getting better, and it's getting better every day. And it's
So you should
it's
pay
all
attention to the
vocal.
little things. Like,
Yes.
I mean, if you don't know what
Meta is technically all not bad, because it'll tell you where your posts are going and
Yes.
all of that engagement.
Exactly.
So that's something that people should definitely pay attention to.
Exactly. Build that email list on your website too. Do that, and then you can send people hey, we got this awesome show with whatever band coming up, and then make it look pretty. Throw a few pictures in there, and there's a way to automate their names in automatically, so you don't even have to know their names. It could be hey, Bill, and it just puts that in for you. Hey, Susie, but they all get the same message.
Yeah.
And it looks sexy, because people always so nice when oh man, apexfallen sent me a message. I mean, if Kill Switch Engage sent me a personal message that say, hey, you can come to our signing.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm gonna
But
go to
also,
that,
bigger promoters look at that and see how professional you are, how well put together you are. If you look like a garage band that you just they get together in a room somewhere and then they go out and play shows every now and again, but they really don't do much. But you've got another band that doesn't really have more of a following and doesn't do that a whole lot, but they're put together more on social media. They've got a website put together. They look like they've got their shit worked out. So it's more attention grabbing to somebody. Let's say a promoter that's out of town and from here to Dallas, and somebody from Dallas sees that, you'll get an email
because
and
what
now
do
you have
do
an
to
opportunity.
What do you do to find something? If you want to know about it, what do?
Well, I mean, I Google things a
You
lot.
Google it. Yes,
I
and
Google
so when you exactly Google it. Google's an amazing spot. So that's I mean
I don't know what the fuck we did without it, honestly. Like,
Yeah, I
don't
mean most
know.
people that's probably the way they learn nowadays. So
I don't know what we did without Google.
I've seen
I see
people do
shit
some
and I'm like,
crazy
wait a
crap
minute,
just
and I
from
go fact
Googling
check
it.
on Google.
You know, just ask Jeeves or whatever you got to do. You
YouTube
remember
it.
that?
You can YouTube any car and figure out how to fix anything. I swear to God, you can. Yeah.
I said MapQuest earlier today and someone laughed at me.
Oh, I love it.
Dude, I said MapQuest and he was like, the fuck?
What?
MapQuest? Oh my God. My dad used to print those out for me whenever I go out of town.
Whatever the fuck.
Back when we printed out
Yes,
fucking directions
dude.
and we're cruising around going somewhere we've never been like a fucking pirate.
I was alive then. I don't know. I literally don't know how we
You
survived.
literally like fill the air.
I don't
and be
know how
like,
we survived,
It's 3
seriously.
knots to the west side. And we would like.
Turn right. There's no road there, but
Yeah.
okay.
But MapQuest said, fuck MapQuest.
Directions were like turn by the 7-Eleven, go down 2 stop signs by like the house with the red fence.
But it hasn't been
and
updated in like 8 years.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like that. It leads to adventure.
Oh my gosh, it was a whole thing. Holy shit.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
That is so great. So, when you are at a venue like 19th Hole or BFE Scout, because we're running out of venues, sadly, do you think people like get noticed quicker if they have a whole performance, right? And make it kind of weird and have like masks and like
Yes.
paint and like
Yes.
costumes and like a
I
whole
will
theme?
say-
Is that something that might like
Well,
I
it's
get
wow
you
factor,
noticed
right?
quicker than just
I-
everybody showing up
So,
and like plugging
so
in and
my,
playing?
my mentality has always been, and I'm looking at the big bands that put on whole productions, so Slipknot, Rammstein, all of them. It's when you're putting yourself up on stage, yeah, you could just stand there and play your stuff, but is it really entertaining to watch? Not really. But if you're showing energy or you have this stage performance that you're putting on, then it will grab people's attention for a lot longer through your whole set rather than just like, yeah, I like that song, but they were just, they were kind of boring.
So even though you're local, you should be putting on a show like you are.
I think you should
It
be
is
trying to
entertainment.
develop. I think you should
You know.
develop a good idea. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you should differentiate yourself somehow. We've been putting money into lighting on our own, and we want to use our lighting from now on. Like every time we go to a venue, we just turn your crap off. I just want it to be us, and we've invested in it.
It's a
you
fun
know?
little twist on it, and
You
it
know.
gives a little bit more something to it. It's not much, but
Well,
it is something.
And my biggest thought is like, I want my light show. I don't want their light show. Because it's just the sound guy being like, okay, well, I'm gonna do my best.
Oh, because you guys can't control that part. Huh?
No, that's something we have no control over.
Yeah,
just the
so-
way that
I
we
love
go
how
through the
clueless
PA.
I am, and I have a podcast. Like, based on it.
But yes, it is an entertainment industry. It's not just music; it's entertainment. So
Yeah.
when you get off stage, you can ask yourself, yes, did I play everything right? Okay, but were they entertained?
Jimi Hendrix
Did I
lit
do
his
my
guitar on
job?
fire, right?
Yeah. For what? That's not musical.
Yeah, and
but
everyone knows that
nobody
about
looked
him.
away.
no,
Nobody looked away when that happened.
no, they did not.
And that's what we're
No
talking
one,
about.
no one looked away when Red Hot Chili Peppers ran on stage with socks over their wieners. So
No, they did not.
yeah, I mean, if anything,
They
I
did
was just
not.
like, what? Oh my god! Like
Lady
how-
Gaga
literally.
used to be super weird.
Yeah.
Like, in the
Yeah.
beginning,
Oh, the meat
she was
suit? Do you remember
so
the meat
weird.
suit?
She was so weird.
That
there
was
for a while.
crazy. Yeah.
But it caught
Yeah.
your attention.
But it did. It got you to pay
Yeah,
attention.
Caught
I mean,
your
Marilyn
attention.
Manson. We went and saw him
Back
one
in the
time.
day.
And, yeah, and
Yes.
he burned the
Dude,
Bible
back in
right
the
in
day.
front of us, and that was nuts.
It was like
he looks like a
Ozzy,
demon
right?
too.
I mean, there are historically things that musicians do to get your attention,
yes.
and it works,
Absolutely.
yeah.
right? It works.
Absolutely.
And
and
that's
half
like the
game.
whole thing with the Gojira stuff, and they were saying it was all satanic. I was like, first of all, they're not doing a lot of satanic stuff. It's like that they were saying the Last Supper that was based off a Dionysus painting. Like
It's
chill
Greek
out.
history. One,
Yeah.
it's knowledge of Greek mythology, and two, when Gojira was on, that was based on the French Revolution.
And it was so fun to watch.
read a book, know your
Yeah.
history. There's a lot of blood. There's beheadings. It was a whole thing.
I think that's like the craziest thing too about our genre is metal and rock in general is there's just such a flooding of rap and techno, EDM, whatever you want to call it. It's not that those things are bad. I love all those things. It's just
Do you think genres intermix now sometimes, and there's like all these weird,
a lot more than they used to.
weird blends of music that didn't exist before?
I've always said it, man. Why can't we just get more? I'm not even talking metal bands. Why can't we get more rock bands? Where's our Nirvana? Where's our Soundgarden? Where's our Linkin Parks? Where are they? You know what I mean? I think they exist, but there's a flood of music that's also there, and you need to fight for it. You know what I mean? And I'm just a big supporter of the metal scene because there's so much amazing metal and rock that's out there now that's just covered up, and we just need to keep pushing for our scene because I mean, really, statistically, it's also still one of the highest bidding. People listen to it. It's like almost weird to like rock. It's like, why are you afraid of that? But you like this music that talks about drugs all the time and other stuff. So
no, that's true.
But how fast it could build,
It's because we like the color black and shit.
yeah,
right?
exactly. We're all
Guys have earrings.
it's
and,
so
like, long
diverse.
hair
It goes
and
with everything.
whatever.
But is that what makes metal magic though? Is that it's always been weird. We're the genre of weird.
Well, it's like the Outcast group, right? Because country music used to
country
have
people are
a
crazy.
very set, think of like 90s
music's
country,
crazy.
you know what I mean? Then metal like hair bands, you know what I mean? There have been genres that it was very strict, and this is just how it was. There was not a lot of crossing over and
Did you? Okay, I have another
blending
random. I have a
like
random
there
fact.
is now.
It was more well defined, and there was a more clear separation.
Yes.
Yeah, but random fact time. I have one real quick. Did you know that old bluegrass music never used to include drums?
I did not know
In
that.
country music, when you played at the Grand Ole Opry, there's a lot back in like
I'm
I
trying
can't.
to,
I'm not
like,
going to say the
mentally
exact dates
think
because I don't
of
remember.
Pictures of that.
But I was watching a show about it, and at a specific time and date, they would never. If you had drums in your country band, they didn't consider it country because it wasn't.
It was
the
like
thing.
rock and roll or something,
it wasn't
right?
The
Wasn't
thing
it
because it
too-
wasn't because the
Yeah.
beat is you going doom digga doom digga doom digga doom with the bass.
Okay, see?
Yeah, so weird evolution of music, like just how they say jazz and all this other stuff brought around rock music. There's a weird evolution through it all.
But now it's a lot more blending, so you can listen to a metal band out nowadays, and you can almost pick apart where they get a lot of their influences from because it will show up in little blips here and there in their music. So you can hear a part or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that's absolutely metalcore. Or over here, it gets heavy and it's dropped down into hardcore, deathcore, or 90s metal like Pantera, something like that. You can really actually hear the bits of where they're getting their stuff from to make their art.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more blended these days.
Yeah.
It's actually a lot harder to place somebody than it was.
I think the best thing to
years
do
ago.
is just like also keep writing your stuff and try to differentiate
Yes.
yourself and try to like understand who your audience is, but also still maintain being true to yourself. Because once again, it's all subjective. Music is you, and you need to keep doing you, or
And only you can do you.
Yeah, exactly.
Who writes a lot of the music? Who writes y'all's music?
This whole last album, which was amazing, if we go back real quick to some of it all, because I'm about to give Erik a lot of love here. This album
He's like,
was
"Oh, shit."
predominantly written by Reis, our guitarist, with Erik's help. I came in and I was like a little bit of the backbone, but when it came to hard recording, I was just like, boys, I'm tired of doing this. And I taught Erik how to use a lot of the recording stuff, and they two did it together as guitarists, as a team. I didn't have that. I have a lot of know-how with recording. So just one fact about apexfallen, we have recorded all of our own music and then sent it to someone who then produced it. So I take a little pride in that because it takes good recordings to have good production. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but that in turn, I went to Erik and I said, hey, dude, I'm bogged down. And I think that's why this album is going to surprise some people, because it is apexfallen still, but it's not, because we kind of handed the reins off to another two people. to do it.
It's like the evolution of apexfallen happening.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm excited.
And
I was
it,
extremely excited about it.
I'm so excited.
it really helped because, like I said, you know, he and I basically grew up together, but we also went through band and specifically percussion. So being the
drum
rhythm
nerds.
section of the band,
Okay.
we lock in on tempo and time signature, and like we don't even have to think about it. So now that I was in the room with Reis, we would play something and I can hear things the way he can hear it. So let's say we were going through a, you know, one pass in this verse and he missed timing on like this note and that note or whatever. I would stop and be like, no, you missed it here and there. Let's do it again.
It's funny
And
to
so it's
watch
just
people who
to get it right.
it's cool and not cool at the same time when you're classically trained and then you work with musicians that are self-taught. You know what I mean? And that's a big spectrum.
Because it's a big
some-
difference, I think.
Because some self-taught people
It's a big
are
difference.
very huge on music theory and they understand it.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you're classically trained and you went through band in high school and you're band nerds and we used to have to march to weird time signatures, like try to play drums marching in 7/8. It's freaking hard. It's weird. County, you know what I mean? So like,
I'm
but
thinking
we
about how
understand
dreadful
that.
it'd be to be in the heat doing that here in
Oh,
Texas.
it was so
Like, are you
Oh my
kidding me?
God.
Yeah, it was so easy
I
to keep
feel
weight off.
so bad for marching band kids here in Houston.
Actually,
Like,
remember,
so
I got
bad
kicked
for
out
them.
so fast in high school. I lasted 1 year, and then and what's funny is I thought so. I played ice hockey all through high school, and our band instructor literally kicked me out after 1 year because I had to go to practice 3 nights a week, and he wanted me to be at band practice at 5 a.m.
Focused, yeah.
I literally looked him in the eyes and said, bro, that ain't happening. I go every night and get my butt kicked at an ice hockey rink, and you think I'm going to come
Yeah.
here and go march on the drums there? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
bro.
And, like,
He kicked me out so quick.
I stayed in band 1 year longer than he did, but I did not do marching. We only did it in high school one time, and we were like, no,
Yeah.
I'm
This
over
guy
this.
was crazy. He wanted us there at 4:45. Practice lasted till like 7, and then he just gave you enough shower time to maybe go shower so you didn't smell like ass before your first class.
Yes, I have a high schooler, so it's a whole thing.
But anyway, so in recording the album, so a lot of the riffs and everything was a collaboration between Reis and myself. He would come up with an idea, or if it needed to sound a little bit more dissonant in this part or less in that part, you know, I would bounce the idea off of him, and we would try to figure it out and piece it together from that. Then he straight up did his own drums. Like we didn't. Don't ever tell a drummer how to drum. That's lesson 1.
With y'all a little.
Well, you did, but do not
I
cross
got
that
this.
line.
I'm
So
not that big of a
he
dick.
went in there after we had done the bass and the drum and the guitar. We had MIDI drums to go off of, so we could keep time and tempo.
He's like, I got
And
this.
then he recorded his real drums. And then after, the last thing we did was the vocals with Jeremy, and he had about maybe half of the album at the time ready to go, or at least somewhat in his head, but 40 to 60 somewhere in there percentage, I was there as well with Woody, and between the two of us actually wrote down a lot of the lyrics that went into the new album, just try to move things along. Or if he had an idea but he didn't know where to go, then we would start coming up with ideas on the rest of the whole phrase. Or if he had this but he didn't have a chorus, give us, I don't know, 15 minutes, and all right, we got it.
We were super collaborative on this with each other and tried to just write something that represented everyone as a band.
Yeah.
And also trying to finish off our little trilogy thing that we're bringing it back again. This is the close of that, and we felt like we brought everything to the table that we could to close that out, and really do it justice as far as production, pushing ourselves, recording, trying to play stuff that is above harder and challenging ourselves as musicians.
Well, that's how you grow, right?
Exactly. And that's what it was, because I mean the biggest thing was that this, like I said, Jeremy did a lot of the writing beforehand with the guitars and stuff, but now this whole album is predominantly Reis and Erik, and I came in and laid down drums, and Jeremy then came and sang, which is not our writing process. That's not what we normally do.
It was something totally
So
new.
it's totally
So,
new.
yeah, so it was off the wall, and I won't even lie, it kind of threw all of us off a little bit here and there, but we figured it out and came up with this amazing product.
But it was still a
It
lot
worked.
of collaborating and bouncing ideas off each other
But
to
that's
try
how
to
you
make
grow,
it happen.
right? Is like change and sometimes being uncomfortable.
You have to.
Right?
You have to change. Well, unless you're AC/DC, then you don't have to change ever. But no,
Tool.
it's yeah. But
I think
oh my
that's what
God,
Bird
I
is playing
love
at
Tool.
Minute Maid tonight or something.
But it
They're good.
change the way you want to change, and don't let anybody pull you in a certain direction because that's their preference. And you're not going to please everybody. So if you have your whole personality based on being a people pleaser, it's not going to turn out well. And then you're just going to get a smattering of ideas that really don't collaborate. And you're going to have a whole list of songs that are just so night and day from each other. Nobody's going to know what to think. So
Yeah,
that
you
was
gotta-
the other thing, is having the same direction on where we wanted to go with the album in each song and as it went along. So that helped with the writing process immensely.
do you think people do that sometimes, change a bunch because maybe they're all of a sudden
Well, yeah.
trying to get on the radio, so maybe their sounds
To
and
be more
things
radio
change?
friendly, I would say
But
yeah.
Jingly and stuff,
Let's
you
be
know what I
honest
mean?
though. So we on the album we have different songs. So some of it all, this one that's being released tomorrow is a heavy song, and we purposely did a dark heavy song because we want to catch your attention. But then we have Hollow. Hollow is 3.5 minutes, which is the normal. It has
Yeah.
choruses 3 times. It's a very
It's a basic
straightforward
structure.
song. It's a basic structure, but it still hits.
But if it
And
comes
what
out
we-
and punches you in the face.
We wrote that as an idea to be like, hey, if someone comes up to me and says, hey, do you have a song for the radio? We're like, here you go. And
Yeah.
we just have one ready. But there's also other songs on that album that are just like double bassed out with blast beats, and like if you're a metal fan, that's what you're gonna like.
So you can go about it and make the deep cuts as much as you want, the meaningful songs with that are really heartfelt, or they have a special place in you for them. And it's got a nice intro that it leads up into, but they can't all be Stairway to Heaven where it just builds and builds and builds for 7 minutes. Sometimes it's just got to be straightforward, and that's where the hits come from. Those are the ones that really grab your attention, because at the end of the song, you're just like, what the fuck was that? Play that back.
Yeah.
And that's how you get new fans and listeners.
Are y'all good with fans engaging with you guys after shows?
Oh, we're
Absolutely.
Or is it
we're
like a weird,
we're attention
you know,
whores.
No, we make
love
it a
friend-
point.
We all are big. You can tell I love to talk. Erik loves to talk. We love being on a stage. We love showing off for people, whatever we can do. And I love talking to new people. It's actually my job. I'm a PT director for a gym. My
Oh, yeah,
job
that
is
is
to
your
talk
whole-
to people. And if I'm faking it or not, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to get you to buy something. I'm
Or-
just being real.
Yeah, or I've
He is a salesman by day.
Yeah. Introvert by night that hides away and plays video games and cries a little.
Write some music here and there.
we play a lot of our shows with bands that we've played with before, that we're friends with, or that we're really into, and we couldn't wait to get on the same bill as them. But after we're done and the next band is on playing,
Do you
I'll have
stay?
somebody.
You stay.
You have to. Come on, it's out of respect.
People don't.
I know people don't, and that's not
See
cool.
What are we talking about?
If
It's
you
staying.
stay-
After you get off stage, do you stay for the rest
you
of the
have to
band?
See other
Come
bands.
on.
I can't,
Because you
especially when
can't-
it's out of tour, but it's a band that's on tour like this. We got Dead Reckoning come this weekend. Our boys, we're gonna be there.
You-
I
Y'all,
stayed
it's a-
at that last show. We stayed till 1 a.m.
Unless-
and hung out with
It's
them.
a
Unless
thing
you
that happens,
have-
y'all, and I know y'all know and have seen it.
Yeah.
Unless you
People leave,
can't.
go smoke, and go hang out or whatever, and
Yeah.
get distracted.
I mean, I understand sometimes
Or
people are
leave
like,
because
I
it's
wake
a
up at 4
drive.
a.m. every day. So, yeah, I get it sometimes, but
So-
I also don't always understand why.
fucking stay.
Stay
You're
and
there
why.
already.
If
God,
you have
please.
enough,
Be
if
open-minded.
you don't have
I
anything
guess
else
for girls
to do,
it's different. Like we're dressed and so like you're there. Like just
Yeah.
stay.
you might as
Just
well
stay.
put all that shit on anyway. You might as well stay and wear it. But no, I've had situations where band gets off stage and one of them's like, "Hey guys, thanks for coming out. I gotta go. It's good to see y'all again, but I got work in the morning, and it's an hour and a half back home. It's like, okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, no, there are exceptions.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Or if you know,
I
it's
get
like,
that.
hey, I got some family stuff I got to do tomorrow, or whatever. That's fine. But if you don't have a reason to leave, then stay. Support the rest of the bands, because you can't at the same time argue that it's like, well, where are the fans? Where's the local crowd? Why don't they come out? Well, you're part of it too. Now that you're off stage, you're part of that local scene. Be part of the local scene and support the bands.
Well, and let's also think about it. Just this podcast, we've been jamming with Bad Trip, who we were friends with, and one of our first shows was with them. I'm wearing a shirt right now that I didn't even know these boys played in a band in. You know what I mean? And then you saw us at Scout Bar, where now all of a sudden we know each other, and now we've become part of the scene. This is a building of our culture in Houston, because I feel like, as you know, it used to be a very strong scene, and I think to an extent it still is, but it does need work. And I feel like we can all keep going, because metal's metal, and it brings people together.
Because it's healing, right? Is music not healing?
it is.
Yes, it is. It is 100%.
It's cathartic.
Yeah.
I don't even make music, but when I hear certain songs, you know what I mean? Like you hear that song, and you're
Yeah.
like, damn.
Yeah,
Right?
it throws
It gives
to
you
a part
chills
of
down
time.
your
Yeah.
spine. It makes you feel
You're
a certain
like,
way.
shit.
That is the sign of a good song and
You're
some
having
good
a bad
art.
day, there's certain songs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You're having a great day, there's
But
certain songs.
Interactions
So-
with fans, no, that's a must. After you get off stage, talk to as many people as you can.
So stalk them after the show, buy them
And-
a drink, buy some merch.
Yeah.
And we will not stop you from talking to us at any point in time. There was at least once or twice I've been off stage and kind of wanted to check out the band after us, and somebody that saw our set is coming up to me. Usually they've had a few in them, but and they start rambling about how just blown away they are, and they're really wanting to talk. And I'll just stand there and straight up just focus on them and talk the whole time, just to see what they have to say, or if they have some tips or advice. Cool. I don't know everything.
I love talking to
Cool,
sound
it's
guys.
networking, right?
Yeah,
It's
it's
fun. You can
networking.
learn
So
stuff, right?
you may not get paid, you may not get a lot of people out there, but if you can make at least one connection, no matter who it is, really get in the ear of the promoter, or just some people that were there anyway that just happened to catch your set, that's networking. It's
Tell her
all
about
part of the game.
Unspeakable. Tell her about
So
Unspeakable.
we played.
He's like
this story.
adjusted.
Okay,
He's
so
getting
first
so
off,
ready for this
do y'all know
story.
what Unspeakable is?
No.
Okay.
Unspeakable is I forget his name, but it's a guy
So
who started his whole YouTube videos by Minecraft. He played Minecraft, and he got children to like him.
he started with Legos.
Legos.
Okay.
That's
there
how
you
it
go.
started, and then he
Minecraft.
morphed it into this thing going into Minecraft. So it's this guy's Nathan and his buddies. They have this channel on YouTube, Unspeakable, and they have more channels revolved around it now, like with reacts and stuff like that. But millions upon millions of followers on all platforms.
This guy makes so much money. He owns like Lamborghinis.
We were playing
like, off of his YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So we were playing a show at
The End, and it's over on around Lawndale, around South Houston, and it's just this hole in the wall place. But one of the production guys, the behind the camera for the channel, happened to go there because his girlfriend was really into hardcore music.
Okay.
And so they were just having a night out. They happened to catch us as the opener of that show, and after we got off stage, he approached us and be like, hey, we got a YouTube channel, we want to use y'all, would y'all be interested?
That's dope.
And we didn't know what to make of it at first, and then
Like
I
scammer, right? You're
eventually,
like, okay.
and so
weird.
I eventually heard the name Unspeakable from him telling me what it was about, because I actually wasn't around for that conversation. He told me, and the reason why I know it is because my daughter
Watches
is the
it.
biggest Unspeakable fan.
Yeah.
And
So
that's
6
how I knew what it
degrees of
was.
Kevin Bacon right now is happening.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck.
And so and when I told her what it was when I heard about it, she lost her shit. Like she was
Dude,
over
how
the moon.
random. That's,
It
like,
is.
so
It
random.
was. And so we spent a day out on one of their properties shooting this whole video, and I mean we were there at like 9 in the morning, 8 in the morning,
That's so
and we were
cool.
there past midnight.
So it
doing
was
this
like a whole
whole
thing. It was
this
a whole
whole
thing.
this whole thing, and it was like a 24-hour video that they were doing, and yeah, we were there in this giant hole in the ground. From like
They were trying to
11
see-
in the
they
morning,
were
we
trying
got in
to
there.
See how many people they could fit in a hole.
Yeah. So
that?
you saw it, and
Dude, that's crazy. Okay, so we will also be adding that.
so yeah.
Unspeakable has
Kudos.
17.8 million subscribers.
So you just never know. You shouldn't just.
Yeah, this is a
network,
random guy that came to us
Yeah.
at our show, walks up to me, says, "Hey, do you want to be on a kid show?" And I'm like,
You're like,
"Am I dumb? Hell yeah, I do." And he sticks us in a hole. It was so much fun. The video is so much fun. We literally sit there, and as they start adding people into the hole, we started having a song that was like, "Get in the hole," and we were just screaming and playing double bass and stuff, and it was so fun. And they were like throwing football players in there. They were
All
throwing,
sorts of stuff.
Cheerleaders. They had Swifters in there. Yeah, Swifties. Yeah, and it was so fun. And the whole event lasted.
I'm gonna get
from-
sued
It
by
was-
Taylor
it-
Swift probably.
it
after
got
this
really
gets
nuts.
there.
Sailor Moon. The Sailor Moon girls in there.
I'm gonna
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
but it got nuts really fast. But yeah, kudos and big thanks to Nathan, James, and Gabe, the three guys of Unspeakable, for having us out there and being a part of it.
It's super
and
cool to show it to my niece
when-
and nephews and be like, "Hey,
and
look what your uncle did."
special shout out to James, who at the end of it all, we were just packing up and getting ready to leave. I pulled him aside. I'm like, "Hey man, can you please, just make a special little video shout out to my daughter? It would mean a lot to her. She couldn't be here, and so he did, and said her name. It's like, hey, why couldn't you be here? Oh my God, you missed it and everything.
Dude, she
So
loved it.
I went home, and before she got up for school the next morning, I showed her. I'm like, hey, I got you a shirt worn by the guys, and I got this video, and I showed her the video, and she's just like, my life is complete now. They acknowledged me, and like it was the biggest thing
that
to
means
her.
a lot.
It really meant a lot.
But that's what
So
I'm saying, guys.
Thank you, James.
Because you know that's how some
talk
people
to
look at you guys,
everybody.
right? Like
Talk to
people
everyone.
go to shows and you guys are like rock stars to them. Like you guys know that, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a whole thing. So
Yeah.
But
People
be
are like,
humble enough to
"Wait."
say, "Hey, dude, I'm also just another guy."
because you guys are people.
Yeah, talk to me.
absolutely.
Let's be cool. And we've made so many friendships and connections that way. And that's why I'm saying stay for your shows. Talk to people.
Please stay.
You know?
I see it as a vendor, y'all, and it makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Even if
Like,
it's
it
just
really
a
does.
simple, hey, I really liked your stuff. Thank you. That was awesome. Like, I had a great time listening to your set. Just that alone, no matter how big they are as a musician, well known and signed in national or international touring, or just a local act, everybody loves to hear it. Everybody likes to know that somebody got some enjoyment from their art.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
So-
I'm so probably like going way over time. I'm about to
we?
check. I don't
Okay.
know, but I'm gonna keep going because I want to ask this question. Do you feel like the music scene's kind of cliquey, and that maybe some of like the same bands always play together though?
It can
Like, how
be.
does a new person
I don't-
get into the music
so
scene if
I
you
have a-
always have the same people?
I have a certain.
On the
This is
bill.
my idea about this. I don't even know if I would always call it cliquey. I do believe that some bands find other bands that do well together because they complement each other somehow.
Okay.
And I believe they put good shows together, which AKA brings more people, which then
So it's
makes
just people
them
that
more
maybe
money.
vibe together. So how does a
Exactly.
Yes.
new person break into that though?
Yeah, well,
like-
and it's hard because it's not always to say
When you
that
have a
maybe-
Hold On Hollywood, Lucid Illusion, 307 Departed, Bill
Yeah.
floating around frequently, like how does that could be intimidating, right? Like how does a
Yeah.
new person get into
It can. It's easier at
that? Or
smaller
you guys,
places.
and I'm sorry, sometimes
So-
you guys play with people and I can't even read their, like I don't even know. Because like the
do you
artwork
mean?
is so hard.
It just looks like
it looks like mozzarella cheese.
mozzarella cheese coming out of a cheese stick. Just
That's what we call it. It's the
strung-
mozzarella cheese logo.
fuck. The fuck.
I mean, I'm like sitting there reading it, and I'm
sorry.
just like, bro, I just don't
Sometimes
see
you
it.
guys make it really fucking hard for us, okay?
And people understand that because you'll see posters where it'll have all the bands like that, but in normal text, right underneath it, it will say what it's supposed to
But
say.
you know what?
Please help people
but
like me
I was
out
listening
that
to
I'm
this-
like, who in the fuck is this? And I'm like all in the comments and having to like.
But I was
fall
listening
down a
to this
rabbit
guy
hole for
talking
20
about it the other
minutes, like,
day,
it's a whole
and that's
thing.
part of their culture. They like that. It's
Yeah.
stupid. It's really stupid. It doesn't make much sense to me because I'd want you to read my name, but like those death metal guys like that stuff. So I'm
And
like,
it's like,
dude, if it
what's the
makes
name
you
of this
like
band?
that,
Out,
cool.
please.
It's like, what's the name of this band? Oh, it's
Okay, so-
okay. I
Mozzarella
guess
cheese
so.
stick number 3.
Okay, y'all, I have a really hard time. Seriously. Okay. Please help me out. Please, like, add some text somewhere.
But you said it can get very clicky and it's hard to get in on that in some of those circles. I mean, your first gig may just be at somebody's backyard or at a house party. Like, it doesn't always have to be BFE or places like that. It could be smaller
so
venues.
open
that,
mics would be
open
so
mics. Absolutely.
If you could
absolutely.
give advice to like, there's 4 people that are in a band playing in their garage right now that like want to break into the local music scene. What advice would you give to them?
So what I would say is set up a camera.
Okay.
Get some decent audio because a garage is going to sound like a garage. But let's say you're in the garage, you got the sound down. Set up a camera, record yourselves doing your set just as same as you would be on a stage somewhere. And then what you could do is you could take that footage and send it to a Houston promoter, email it to them, and just offer. Cause I mean, the worst they're gonna say is like, "Hey, thanks, but I'm not interested."
So like
And that's
literally back in
fine.
the day when people used to send like tapes and CDs
Yes.
out.
Yes, but now if you send video, now they can see really more what you're about and what
I
you
still
can do
think,
and
like,
what you have to offer.
statistically, a lot of, I mean, I'm not saying this though. We have gotten offers for really good shows that I don't know why we got them because they didn't. None of these promoters saw us like eye to eye, but they saw our numbers. And they saw,
Yeah.
oh, that band has got something going on.
So follow, like, and share.
Yeah,
Golly.
follow, like, and
wow,
share,
help
'cause
out
it's
your
all for
local
free.
bands. Holy
Yeah.
shit,
Yeah.
for
Dude,
real.
I follow people on. I mean, my Facebook is just
Like,
a
share.
big thing of following
And-
musicians, and,
and
I
it-
follow
and-
their bands.
And it's also helping out your local promoter because they're always looking for more talent to put on their bills.
Bands come and go.
They really are.
But
So-
it's the ones that stick around.
If you are a promoter and fall into this podcast, I would like to interview you because
Yeah.
the fuck.
yeah, what the
I
fuck,
didn't
bro?
even know that was a real job. So please get in
Yep.
my DMs, please. The fuck.
I'm sure we don't know everything about it, but like what I've dealt with, I'm just like, what the hell, man? This is crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, it can come from anywhere, and as long as you're putting it out there for somebody to see it, more than likely somebody will see it, and it's the people that you want.
Dude, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Do we want to do shout outs to anybody? And we always forget someone, and that's okay.
Well, first shout out I want to do, because we were talking about the album coming out, I want to do a shout out to Fern Lemus, who did the mixing and mastering. He is the drummer of Lions at the Gate, based out of San Antonio.
Very cool. Bitch. Okay. We'll talk about that afterwards. I just
Okay.
got so excited.
So first shout out to him. The album sounds incredible. Can't wait to show it to
We
everybody.
love you, dude. You're an
And
amazing person.
He's done a world of help from what we could have done on our own.
I'm about to be in your DMs because I have some bands in San Antonio and I'm trying to get into San Antonio and do some podcasts. So that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Fernando Lemus, he's an amazing person with the FL recordings, and he's super friendly, an amazing drummer, and just probably one of the coolest people.
So if you want your drums to pop,
Yeah,
he'll make
this
them
guy will
pop.
Do it. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then well, let's call out James Wiseman. He's a personal trainer at our gym, but he's also breaking into the music video scene, and he's pushing himself. And he did our first music video for this album. Which
so is he
we're-
like a video photographer? Is that what he does?
He's getting into it.
He's starting
So-
it, but he has good taste and he's getting better every single day. I mean, this guy has artistic talent while also still being able to do a handstand and walk across a whole entire gym. this guy is insane.
He's
and
Okay.
you know, and he's very unsuspecting, but then at the same time very surprising. And you know, we enjoy you, bro, and we hope that this music video not only helps us but helps you and makes you grow as well.
And he also did pretty much all of our recent promo photos.
Yeah, photography,
So, all of
band
that
skit
as
with
well.
James Wiseman. I think it's JJP Wiseman.
Yes.
On Instagram. Amazing guy.
I'll have all his info in the bio. That's
Yes.
cool. I'll list him in the bio. That's
And then yeah, it's just shout out to Unspeakable again, just because that was such a cool thing to have
We love
happen
you,
to us.
Jeremy and Reis. We miss you.
Also,
we wish the
yes.
whole band was here. We just did this, and you know, like we really enjoyed all this. So it was really fun to talk to you as well. So.
I've had so much fun getting like to know about you guys because you guys scream a lot, so I have a hard time hearing somebody else music.
I get that.
So, but y'all have a big following, and it's really cool.
Yes.
It is. It's really cool. Y'all are doing some shit, and y'all were on my list. So when I started this podcast, I had a list,
Can we come back on your list?
dude.
Let's do it again.
Y'all were on my list, so I was like, yes, they're on.
We're
they're-
excited to be here. Like,
It's fun.
This is really our first podcast that I think we've done where we sat and talked. I think we've done some other stuff, but like this is our first podcast, so we're very excited to
There
do
was
this.
one that happened at the end of one of our shows at Black Magic, but that one had Jeremy and Reis in it.
See, we'll have to do it with all you guys. We'll have to get all you guys together.
we
You'll
need
have
to
to go and tell them and be like, okay, it wasn't that bad. So
It's actually kind of fun.
you guys are good.
But to plug that interview, I think it was Mombarella, and it was really cool. She had vampire fangs in, and she did a whole thing. And no, she did a great job as like the first official apexfallen interview.
Dude, that's cool.
But want to plug the album coming out on October 15th, single coming out August 15th, and then Hollow, the second single, September 15th. And if you want to find out more, sign up to our newsletter, apexfallen.com. Also check out Facebook, Instagram, all the stuff that we're on anyway, but apexfallen.com. We update as much as we can there with shows.
They really do. I was on there today, actually.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
I was actually.
We try.
I am on their
We've
official mailing
got-
list now.
We've got the newsletter. We've got merch. We've got some things that we don't have at our table at shows that you can find there to pick from. And
Ooh, some secret items that you have to go online
Yeah.
for. kinda
and
cool.
Butt plugs.
and then
Stop! Oh my god, I'm gonna have to bleep that out. No,
we've
The apex of butt plugs.
we've got a whole thing. So
there might be a market for that. We'll link up
They're
after
big
the
and
show.
meaty.
as
We'll link up after the
as
show.
dumb as we've sounded through this whole interview,
No,
we try to present ourselves as professionally as we can with
Did I
how
come in
we
and I
are
ruined
online.
it?
No, you guys are professional. I mean, you have ventured outside of Houston. You are producing music. Like it's a whole thing. So this is fun.
Heck
This
yes.
has been so much fun. I'm just happy, dude. I'm so happy y'all agreed to this for real. Like,
Thank you very
because
much.
I'm
Thank you
just
for
a
having
fan.
us.
I'm a fan. You know what I mean? Like, I am at a lot of shows because of my other business. You know what I mean? So I get to hear all this music. So I'm literally just a fan. So I'm like, dude, I want to get all my favorite people on my couch and like talk to them and get to know them.
This is
You
really
know what
cool.
I mean?
This
It's
needs to
like,
keep happening over and over because we need more stuff like this in the metal scene. We need more stuff like this in the rock scene. We need more.
Yep.
and it
people
makes you
to
guys
care.
personable, right? People get to know you guys.
Like
They
to
get
hear
know you
from
guys.
us, to hear
So-
from us, and see what it is to be us.
Because you guys
know,
are
and-
people.
Yeah.
And it's
Like
all-
his arms are so big, if you couldn't tell, he works at a gym. Jesus Christ! Like,
but
I only do biceps.
it's always nice. It's always nice to sit down and do interviews with people or whatever, because you might look at some of your most, your favorite metal artists or rock stars or whatever, and like even on stage, they seem like just this whole monster of a human being and this personality and everything. But then they, sit down in a comfortable environment and just get to talk, and they're just like, oh yeah, so the other day,
yeah, they're just like people,
like,
dude.
yeah, whatever, they're people too.
Y'all are just people.
There's been some big musicians that are super, super nice. Like, I mean, to me, and I'm just like, man, I love that you actually take the time because, I mean, without them, the musician's really
Yep.
nothing, But
It's got to start somewhere.
yeah,
Dude,
Keep the love alive.
I love it. Yay, I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
So this is so much fun. So I don't know how to ever end this, and it's all weird and awkward, and he cuts it out anyways. So.
Okay, bye.
I don't know. So this is so much fun. Yay. Make sure to like, follow, share, subscribe. Follow them on all of their social medias, and I will have all of that in the bios. And this was fun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ashley.
See ya.